Hey, welcome to the Dino and Joe Show. That is Joe. My name is Dino, and welcome to the show.
Hello.
See what I did there? I mixed it up. I did
I was
something
going
new.
to say it felt
Yeah.
different but refreshing.
It was like when Coke changed the formula to New Coke, and now we're gonna get like thousands of tens of
Ends
emails
of
telling us they didn't like the intro anymore
Yep.
because we'll get two people saying, "Hey, why didn't you just do it the way you normally do it?"
Yeah.
That's why I listen. Why are you changing things? What are you, New Coke? So I'm telling you,
Yeah.
that's.
That's not the legacy we want to leave.
It's interesting when we were in Atlanta and we went to the world of Coca-Cola for
Mhm.
vacation. We didn't go to Atlanta. Atlanta was a stopping point on our vacation.
Sure.
We went to the world of Coca-Cola, and first of all, didn't know it was going to be 10 hours long. And they have a whole thing about when Coke changed and the actual like meeting notes from like the board of directors meetings and stuff, talking about how wrong and how bad this could be.
Really?
Boy, were they right. They should have listened.
I mean, it so I think we've gone over this. I'm a Pepsi fan. Always
Yeah,
have been,
I
always will be. I
okay.
will drink Coke if that's what's available, but I
That's
will never
all that
seek it out.
should ever be available.
I mean, so when I went to Disney in Disney Springs, they have the whole Coke thing. And if you have not tried it, you should. It is the drinking around the world. So you have one that has alcoholic spirits and one that is non-alcoholic. I did the non-alcoholic because I'm not really much of a drinker anyway. But they give you for probably 16 small cups of different Coke products from all
Yeah,
around the world.
yeah.
And let me tell you, some of them are very good.
Yep.
Some of them are abhorrent, is the word that
Yes.
comes to mind, but that might
Yes.
not be awful enough. Like, for
Right.
instance, a drink from India, it was green, it was
Yeah.
delicious. It was outstanding. A clear drink from Italy is
Yes.
the devil's.
They talked about how it's discontinued because they
Oh,
have it at World of Coke as well.
it's
And they
called
talked about
Beverly.
how big it was and how it was discontinued, but it was their most popular
Ooh,
product and all this stuff. And we had it and we were all like, what is this? This
it's
is like disgust
atrocious.
in my mouth. Like, are
Yeah,
you
it was
kidding me
awful.
right now? Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
one from Asia that had a bit of a, I don't know. It was I don't even know how to put a pork flavor kind of.
Ooh.
Like it was, yeah,
Ooh.
there were some that were
Ay,
just
ay, ay.
terrible. Some of them were outstanding.
Yeah.
It was kind of a gutsy call because Tiff and I took turns back and forth who was going to drink first, and we tried to keep a straight face and be like, not bad. And the other one would be like, oh my god, yeah. I had Beverly. I couldn't. The
Yeah,
Italian one, I
that was
couldn't. I was like,
ridiculous.
it
Yeah.
tasted like rubbing alcohol. It
That
really
was
did.
ridiculous.
It was
It
terrible.
was bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you remember when Coca-Cola changed? Like, I don't remember. Like, you're a little bit younger than I am, so like,
Yeah.
I'm wondering like where if that hit, like it hit for my generation, which was
I
like,
don't
what do you mean you're changing Coca-Cola?
I don't think so because I remember I always had what we know today as Coke. I don't remember
Yeah,
like the new Coke market. I
right,
think that was a little bit before me because
right.
I was late 80s, early 90s. Um, and I
Yeah.
think it happened before that, like early 80s or mid
I'm,
80s.
yeah, I don't remember exactly. I think you're probably right, probably like 84, 85.
Yeah.
But it was either the greatest marketing ploy ever because it either, like they knew like this was going to be the fallout and they were going to go, "Oh, look, we'll bring
Right.
it back," right?
Good things. Yep.
Or was it really truly like, there was a lot of rumor, oh, they're trying to make it taste more like Pepsi because Pepsi's sweeter and wins every
It
taste
is.
test because people
It
like
does.
sweet. It's
True.
disgusting. And
I'll die on that hill. That's fine.
oh, yeah, that's fine. You can mount up
Nah.
because I'm charging that hill with my Coca-Cola brigade. Uh, so when you're a child, right, there's all kinds of things that you do, that you try,
Yeah.
that you're into, that maybe you're not into later on. I
Mhm.
always think of like, the parents who are like, oh, my kid's playing the clarinet. And then the next week, oh, my kid's playing the saxophone. And the next week, oh, he's trying the drums. It's like, oh, now he's playing tennis, right? Like
Yeah.
it's
You described my youth pretty much in those four things. You just did them all in a row.
well, there you go. I've been doing my research. Um,
Clearly.
I Google searched you. Uh, I've started a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, right.
No, I haven't done that. I don't even know how to do that. But literally, like, there's things that you're into. What were the things that like you did as a child that you're like, no, never, I'm never doing that again?
I can tell you from a wardrobe perspective, there's one thing that stands out. So if you find any picture of me when I am probably between the ages of 4 and 10,
Okay.
you will see me with the following getup.
Sure. Okay.
Guaranteed.
All right.
Guaranteed. Bowl cut,
Oh, okay.
a turtleneck of some sort, doesn't
Yeah.
matter the time of year, and khakis. I would never wear jeans. I would never wear shorts. I would rock a bowl cut, turtleneck, and khakis year round. That was my,
Nice.
I felt safe in that outfit. That was like my go-to.
Was
I
it a
wasn't
full
those flashy
turtleneck or
kids
was
with
it
the
a mock turtleneck?
both.
Oh,
Usually I would
oh,
have the one where I would have to roll it over.
oh,
So
yes.
like a true turtleneck.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, I remember turtlenecks and I know I had them when I was younger. I can't remember like at what point I just never wore one again.
Yeah.
It was probably a young adult. But I grew up at a time where fashion was way different,
Yes.
right? Because I was born in the 70s.
Hmm.
I was born in 70.
Hmm.
And so by the time I was 10 years old, you had the 70 fashion, right?
Right.
The bell bottoms
Right.
and corduroy. There, you literally could start a fire between your knees when you walked around with corduroy. Zip, 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 as
That's
it would
funny.
rub together. Oh yeah, corduroy. I remember when corduroy came back in like the 90s, and I was like, no, 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 no,
So
no.
after immediately following khakis, I would go to corduroy. I owned, I don't know how many pairs of corduroy pants. No joke. Yep. Corduroy slacks.
Corduroy.
That was my next phase after the khakis.
And plaid was a big color when I was a kid. And it wasn't like plaid, it was like brown plaid
Right.
or like rusty brown plaid
Hmm.
and white. You know, like I look back at like some 70s TV shows, like, you look at the fashion that's going on Soul Train in the
Yeah.
70s. Like I remember, there's some movies that show it too, right? That were filmed at that time. I remember those fashions, right? But I also remember when the members only jacket came out because I had one of those too. Yeah.
I
On the,
was
on the shoulders. Yeah.
15 or 16 and I was at like a Goodwill or a Salvation Army and I saw
Yeah.
one and I'm like a members
Yeah.
only jacket and I bought it because I thought it was cool. I was not right.
Did you fold up
Of
the
course,
sleeves?
pulled up the sleeves,
Yeah.
did the little
Yeah.
thing. I
Pop
was
the
looking
collar.
good. I was looking good up here,
Uh-huh.
not out there. That
20
was
years
it,
ago, that would
yeah,
have looked
20, I
fantastic.
would have been awesome, but I see yet further proof that I was born during the wrong
Oh, that's
decade.
hysterical. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like as a kid, like it was really fashion. Like I mean,
Yeah.
it's the clothes that you end up wearing, and then of course, being a middle child and being the second of two boys, I ended up with clothes that were just hand me downs.
Hmm.
It was like, oh, my brother wore this. I wore it. In fact,
Right.
I think there's like I did this one time, and I think I did it on purpose when I was a kid. I have my fourth grade picture
Mhm.
and then my fifth grade picture, and I wore the exact same shirt both times.
I mean, you gotta get back
And
at the parents somehow.
it's not a cool shirt,
It's not
you know.
good. Just
No, no.
well,
It
I
was
you
like
just
patterned or something.
you unlocked something up here. Probably one of the maddest times I've ever seen my mother ever in my
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
I had picture day and I was probably, I don't know, second or third grade,
right,
something like that. And she got me this nice, like, baby blue polo with a white undershirt, my
right.
cross, because I was going to a Catholic school. So I looked like the good Christian boy I was. And I don't remember what caused it, but I know to this day she sees this picture and makes a comment. It's a picture. I got this smile with my little baby teeth, but I have a huge red cut right here from when I fell and skinned it on the sidewalk. So right here, big red cut area.
Nice.
And it's just me like with that. And she looks and she's like, every time I see it, I still get angry. And then she moves on. And I'm like, it's not like I did it on purpose. I was like not like a 4-year-old kid. Leave me
That's
alone.
awesome.
Yeah, I was super young and oh man,
You did
when
it on
she,
purpose.
oh God, she saw that the day I had the pictures. And when I came home, she's
Yeah.
like, you didn't have that for pictures, did you? And I was like, no. She's like, good. And then she got the pictures and she was like, "Oh, okay. So this is what you think. You think this is a funny joke. I'm gonna
Right.
send this to our family and they're gonna, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't change. So we have picture day, right, with the two boys, and my youngest, he's 6, right? So he's in what would have been kindergarten at the time,
Sure.
and they have a full day. And what I can't stand is they don't like do the pictures early
Hmm.
when they look nice getting off the bus to go to school.
Of
They
course
do the
not. They wait
pictures
till
in
the
the
end of the
middle,
day.
yeah, end of the
Yeah.
day or middle of the day or whenever it is, right? So we sent him like my wife did their hair, right?
Hmm.
Each product, whatever. We get this picture of Henry and his hair's all up here like
Of
this.
course.
And he's got this look on his face. Like he just looks like he went 4 rounds with 3 other boys in school. And I'm telling you, like we got the picture and I literally made her frame it because I thought it was just awesome. I'm
That's
like, absolutely.
fantastic.
That is my
That's so
son.
cool.
That is my 6-year-old for sure.
I I have always hated pictures. I'm not a huge picture. I
Oh
don't
no.
take pictures myself. If other people want to take pictures and they want me, fine, okay, whatever. Like it is what it is. But I remember like always feeling so much pressure on picture day because
Yeah.
I knew if it didn't look exactly right, if I smiled weird or my eye was wonky or anything was out of place in my hair, my mother would be like, "Well, great, we just spent, $250 in these photos. I'm going to send it to your family. This is what you're going to look like." Great. That's like, what? I'm
Well,
not like,
because
have we ever thought about holding the photographer responsible, the adult in the room who is a professional
right,
picture taker?
right.
Maybe we could talk to him sometime.
Well,
I don't know.
it saved your family the, $200 session at Sears
That's true.
to get the
Which they
picture
also did.
taken. Well,
Which
oh
they
yeah,
also
of
did.
course, yeah, because
Which they
mom
also
always
did.
had to have a family picture.
Always.
Oh, that was always, but that's where you
I
can see some of the finer fashions that I wore when I was a child is in some of those pictures. I like the ones who do the family pictures, by the way, that they all match.
oh I so I talked to Tiff about doing this and she's not quite on board, but I'll get her there. I want to do an 80s style one where
Oh
I'm
yeah.
wearing like the jorts and
Uh-huh.
like I'm tucked in with like a short sleeve shirt and like it's just that we're both staring off
Right.
this one
Oh,
right
well,
here
and it's got to have
where you're
like
staring
like
off the
like
different.
laser shots in it,
Yes, exactly.
coming through the
Yep.
picture. Yeah,
So something like
absolutely.
that. I told her,
I
I was like,
have
we should
those.
go to J.C.
I actually
Penney.
got those when
Yeah,
that was the pictures we got as kids. So yeah, I'm all on board because that was my life
yeah,
of getting pictures as a kid.
absolutely.
And my senior pictures, same thing.
Absolutely. Oh, so I remember my senior pictures were actually probably the best set of pictures I've ever taken
Oh,
as somebody under the age of, as in a school setting because they said, okay, here's your picture day. Your last name, if you're between this letter and this letter, you're going to go. Cool. I knew what day I was. And they were like, we want you to bring your school uniform, a professional like business suit
uh-huh.
jacket for a little resume,
Yep.
and then something fun. So I brought my, my normal school uniform, white shirt, black tie with St. Joe's logo. Brought my white. I kept the same white shirt, but just threw on a gray suit
Yeah.
jacket. And then I had my Detroit Red Wings jersey. I was cool. I made it, and that was probably the best round of pictures I have ever taken in my life.
Oh no, not mine.
No.
I I struggled figuring out my hair when I was
Okay.
younger, right? So
Okay.
I had the same haircut my dad had, right?
Sure.
Which is the part and the
Yeah.
over, right?
Of course.
Businessman's haircut is what they call it today, still,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Because it was just the 1950s haircut that every guy got.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided, like, at some point, I wanted to do different things with my hair. So I had different color hair, and I, tried to do trendy things that I shouldn't have no business ever doing, right? Because you think
Yes.
it looks good and it does not.
Oh, I
Uh,
know.
and so I have like this like nest of hair because it was really short and was supposed to be like spiked up or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
it was horrible. It's really literally embarrassing. But those are my senior pictures that everybody who has a senior book of me can see.
So now that you have said this, any of my friends who are listening are immediately saying Joe needs to tell this story.
Okay.
I was not what you would call a bright man when I was a younger fella. I was very impulsive, not very dissimilar from a 35-year-old man, but I felt at the time when I was probably a sophomore in high school, so like 15, 16 years old,
Right.
I thought what would look the best on me is just blonde hair. I thought I would
Oh
look
yeah.
awesome as a blonde dude.
We've all gone there at some
So
point.
I went ahead and I did it myself. I'm like, I don't need no, Fantastic Sam's or whatever.
Super cuts.
Yeah, super. I don't need them to do it. Joe can do it himself. He's got some gal friends who can help out. Well, it turned out that they did not know what they were doing, and it became a cheetah print. So it was blonde spots in my hair. So yeah,
that's phenomenal.
Had to rock that for a while.
That's awesome.
Then I was like,
if it were the 80s, that would have been like cool.
That would have been. I would have been again always a decade or two off. It really killed me. Then after I was like, okay, this is too embarrassing. I went to go get it done professionally, and I went full blonde. But it wasn't blonde. It was like, it wasn't orange. It wasn't blonde, and it wasn't red. It was kind of a mixture of those. And it was. I rocked it out though. I did not change. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it go until it looks.
Yeah.
I actually said until it looks stupid, as if it didn't already. But I let it grow out until the dark hair, because I have very dark hair.
Right.
Until that came out and it really looked extra stupid. I just cut it all off. But yeah, that's. I was a leopard and a blonde man for it was a while.
I've gone blonde. I've had blonde tips. I've had blonde highlights. Oh yeah, did it all.
It was
none of it looked good, but I did it all.
Exactly. I've never done it since. I have zero desire to change my hair. But you know what I have started doing is using a blow dryer and a little brush. Get a little lift in the hair.
Just a little height.
Just a little height. All these new
hair?
kids who have like the hair that's up to here.
Yeah.
So I get that nice feathery hair. I can do it. It's very nice. The pandemic has changed me.
No, the new one. So George, my 10-year-old, he has the new hair. He has the soccer cut, right?
Okay.
That's what I call it, because it drives me batty. But it is the shaved all the way around, right?
Yep.
Until you get up here where it's really long.
Part.
And they spend the whole time during a soccer game doing this number.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, are you kidding me right now?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, I fully encourage you. You know what? Whatever you want to do, man. I don't care. Right. You won't let me shave it off, so
so just do whatever.
Do whatever you want to do. And so he went online and found a soccer player named Jason Dybala who plays in Italy.
Okay.
And that's the hair he wanted, and that's the hair he has. And it was about probably into like a couple weeks after he got the haircut that I noticed every kid on the soccer field has the same hair.
Hey. At least he's cool and not like us. At least he's doing the popular thing, not getting freaking, stripes and crap in their hair like I did when I was a kid getting beat up.
And from what I can tell, it's going to last for a few years because all the older kids have the same haircut. There you go. All the things we do when we're young. It's the Dino and Joe Show. It's the Dino and Joe Show. This is Dino. That's Joe. Welcome back. And we're talking all things childhood. And I want to know about your childhood aspirations. So, when you were a kid and someone said to you, what do you want to be when you grow up? What did you say?
So I would say from probably the age of 1 to about 7, I wanted to be a Stegosaurus. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted
that. Congratulations. You got that one. Check that one off.
So legit, where were we? Venture. So Venture was a store in the Chicagoland area that sold just random crap. It was just random stuff, whatever. It was a department store. And
so it'd be like a Benjamin Franklin.
Sure. Yes. If that is what it is in your area, that's the same
thing. 5 and dime called Benjamin Franklin.
That,
Yet nothing was ever 5 cents or a dime.
That's ironic, but it was a small thing. Yes. It was a small glass thing that was a Stegosaurus that said Stanley on the front of it, and I wanted that, and that was my best friend.
Stanley the Stegosaurus
so badly for a long time. Then,
I could see that.
I could be a Stanley. I think that'd be fine.
Wow, why not?
Then I wanted to be astronaut. Then Stanley Stegosaurus.
Could I call you Stan the Man?
You can if you want.
Okay.
We should rebrand the show.
It's the Dino and Stan Show.
Yes, exactly. It's the same. It's the same effect, I think.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah. So that we did Stegosaurus, then
Stanley Steamer,
astronaut,
Oh,
Then
yeah, absolutely. You want to go to the
here's
moon?
the good one.
Okay.
Here is the one that I still to this day would want to be. So I have seen
Astronaut's
a
pretty
movie.
good, by the way. I just want to say. Well, first
Oh
of all,
yeah,
Stegosaurus is excellent,
yes it
and
is.
Astronaut's not too bad. So this is like the good one.
This is the good one. This is
Okay.
the one that I would still to this day not mind to do, but
So when
maybe
Stan looks
nowadays.
back at his life and
Yes.
says, "Here's where I am today, and
So
here's where Stanley should be now."
around my 10th birthday, so 1996, 1997, a movie came
Yes.
out with Dustin Hoffman, Morgan Freeman, Rene Russo, Kevin Spacey called Outbreak. You may
Yes.
be familiar with
Okay.
this movie.
Yeah,
It's a
it actually has some bearing on today.
yes, that's what so I said maybe today is not the best, but still,
Right.
it was
Look
I
where you'd be
want
right now, Stanley, had you have
so
followed your dreams.
it's true. So for those of you who don't know, Outbreak is about a movie that obviously has an outbreak, but it is a contagious disease that comes from monkeys in Africa. And it makes its way over to the US. But the United States Army Medical Research Institute for Infectious Diseases, I still remember USAMRIID, as it is
Yes.
known, uh, has biohazard levels and they do research on stuff. And they wear these really cool blue suits when they're in the room with these deadly diseases. And that's the only reason why I wanted to do it. I wanted the yellow and the blue suits. I wanted to be the cool people who help save people's lives, which it kind of is joking because it's I could never be able to do that, but I think it's really cool that there are people out there who are smart enough and brave enough to do that kind of stuff,
Sure.
especially with times like right now, right? Like
Yep.
somebody has to go out there and deal
Oh
with
yeah.
this stuff, and that's not the joking. The joke is that I could do that. No, 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 no. I
Did
have
anybody
no.
ever pull young Stan aside and say, "You do realize, Stan, that
Uh,
you have to go into the army to do
so
that job, and you would have
my
to go through basic training to do that
also a
job."
no. Also
And
a no.
literally, I want to see you in basic training.
You don't.
I do.
I
I
don't.
so want to see young Stanley take
So
on basic training because I have a Gomer Pyle thing in my head that just
uh,
won't is now
that
on
yes,
repeat.
you're probably not far off. So okay, this is I'm letting everybody into a little bit of me right now. Okay, this is the truth.
This is
I was
this is
so
Stanley and bearing Stanley's soul.
I was so into this movie and so wanted to do it
Yeah,
that when you buy a comforter and they're in those big plastic
of
bag
course.
things.
Yeah,
Well, I would take that. I would take a poncho, like a poncho style blanket. I
yeah.
would cut a hole in the middle, put it over my head. That was
Of
essentially
the
my
blanket
bodysuit,
or the
the blanket.
okay. All
So
right,
the
all right.
blanket would drop over me like a poncho. That would be my yellow or blue protective suit. And then I would take the plastic bag, zip it up, leaving enough room for air because I'm not about to choke myself out. And I would pretend that I was people in that movie because they were so cool. That is the
Wow.
honest to God truth.
Wow.
And you can ask my parents to like I would run around yell. My favorite quote from this movie is Dustin Hoffman. Cuba Gooding Jr. is in it too, and
Yeah.
without spoiling anything, they go to an infected area with a different disease, and Cuba Gooding Jr. is just overwhelmed by emotion because he sees all these sick people, and he takes his mask off, and Dustin Hoffman looks at him and just says, isolate him," and that's what I would just run around my house yelling at everybody just to isolate themselves. So
Uh,
that was
again,
my
bearing on today,
yes.
you were fully prepared.
I
You had
was,
at an early age prepared yourself to be that voice of reason during
and
a outbreak around the world.
I still try to be. Yeah, I remember the best practices that they provided. But seriously though, like it's a very good movie. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen it, see it.
Yep.
Like I think it's very, very good. Great actors, well written, and yeah. The only joke of that is me. A being a doctor, but also to your point, B being in the army. Like
So,
neither
and
of those are my
how many years of
uh
medical school did you have?
well, let's think about this. So I watched all 9 seasons of the TV show Scrubs. I watched all seven
Sure.
seasons of House. So, I mean, in
Wow.
reality, we're looking like 16 years of
Oh
medical
yeah.
training.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that's
pretty sure
longer than a lot of doctors.
you were ready to do clinics and
Does
yeah.
does anybody else know what Takotsubo cardiomyopathy is? if one of our 33 listeners know,
You don't
please.
know what that is.
It's something with the heart.
It's something. It's
Something
in
with the
there.
heart.
I mean,
What
that
else
might
is
be
that?
what you have, ma'am.
Transverse myelitis. I know that's a thing.
Ooh, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So you learned
uh, uh,
some medical phrases.
oh, I learned a lot of medical
Oh
phrases. It's good
man,
stuff. You
I,
use
I
that, you never know what's wrong with you until you
next
find out.
next time I'm feeling under the weather, save a bunch of medical bills. I'm just calling you up.
Next time you feel sick, you probably have Wolf Parkinson White syndrome.
Oh,
I'll bet you money
how could
that's
I
what it
not?
is. How could you not have that? Um, no, but those are the things that I've
Wow.
always remembered that stuck with because they're such interesting sounding
Yeah.
phrases. Like I know the Takotsubo cardiomyopathy is something with a failing heart, and Wolf Parkinson White I think is like electrical synapses in the heart too or something. I don't know, but
I'm glad you think so. You want to be a heart surgeon. That's what you're
yes,
telling
clearly
me. You
I
only
was
you
clearly
only learn pieces that
cardiology.
have to do with the heart.
For a while it was virology when I was watching Outbreak, and then when we
Yes.
moved over to all the medical comedies or dramas, I was
Uh,
very much into um, the heart, so a cardiac surgeon for sure.
And where are you practicing medicine today?
Yes, I am practicing at St. Joe's. It was my namesake, that's my
In the bedroom with my
in
girlfriend.
exactly. No, but yeah, I would love to be a doctor,
Oh,
but
that's awesome.
it's the numbers piece that just,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
whole army piece. I don't think the army and I would be a good fit.
No, no, I don't either. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna say.
yeah, no, you're right. Normally I'd be offended, but it's accurate and fair. So you're right.
I have nothing that entertaining about what I wanted to be when I was a kid.
But then what did you actually want to be when you're a kid? Entertaining or not? I want to know
Up
more
until I
about you.
was 7 years old,
7.
I wanted to
Yes.
be a police officer.
Okay. It's a
And that
good
was like,
profession.
but that was like every kid, right? I mean,
Yeah, I
police officer,
think
firefighter, like that's what kids always relate to because that's
always.
the toys you get to play with. And
Right.
that's, and you have this really like I think unexplored idea of what a police officer does, right? They're there
Hmm.
to protect people, they're there to help people. Like that's all you know. You don't really
Right.
know that hey, they wear body armor and
Right.
have to have cameras and all that stuff, that modern day, right?
Right.
So then after I was 7 years old, I wanted to be on the radio.
Well, look at see,
That's literally what I wanted to do because my
unlike
brother
me.
was when
Yeah.
I was younger as well. And he got there. He got a job first. But yeah, ever since I was 7 years old, I used to sleep with. I used to go to bed because we had to go to bed before the countdown was on. And every night they would count down the top songs, and that's what the kids would talk about in school the next day. So
Okay.
I had a little transistor radio that I would put under my pillow,
Sure.
and when I was
Lay
sleeping or
down and
laying,
you'd hear it.
I would listen to the radio, and that's what I wanted to do. I always thought those guys were so cool and they always sounded like they were like it's the whole allure, right? They're always happy, they're always friendly, they're always having this
Right.
great time, funny, right? That's what I thought, oh man, I want to be that guy. And so like that's all I wanted to do. And then I got that opportunity to do it when I was 15 years old.
That's awesome.
And
See,
I did it.
you actually chose a realistic
Oh, I don't know
career
about
path
that.
that you could do, whereas I wanted to be something that has been dead for 65 million years, something that is probably one of the most difficult things to become to be able to be an astronaut, and also a very difficult profession of
Yes.
studying a lot and learning a lot of things, whilst also being an army officer.
Right.
So, like, I clearly went the more idealistic route rather than the realistic route.
I just wanted to be a guy that could talk to girls and play music and say whatever you wanted to say with what seemed like no ramifications, which is not true. Like that's not you.
So
You still have to be careful about what you say when you say it.
I guess I'll make an addendum. When I was in high school, I wanted the exact same thing you just said, be able to talk to girls and play music. But I wanted to be in a band,
Oh, sure.
and I would always bring my guitar around, and that's when the gals would swarm around and be like, "Oh, play a song." I'd be like, "Well, I guess I could." I would do something, and
Yeah.
people were like, "What the hell? You got to stop bringing that thing around." I'm like, "Well, I'm so sorry.
Well, especially because it was
I'm Stanley, the
trombone.
smooth guy now." So
You were doing the
yeah,
song.
yeah. No,
Oh,
but that
clearly
was
you gotta stop. You're not Xavier Woods. Quit bringing your trombone around. Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny too, right? Because one of the old jokes in radio is that all people in a band want to be on the radio, and
Hmm.
all the radio people want to be in a band.
Good a band, right?
But radio people, most of them have no real ability to actually ever be a musician. I don't.
Sure.
I couldn't be a musician to save my life. Like I tried, took guitar lessons, piano lessons, drum lessons, can't do anything. I have no ability. My brother, music teacher.
Oh wow.
Like
Okay.
I don't know how that
So
works,
it
but
all went to your brother,
no,
not necessarily you.
absolutely nowhere near me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
not gonna happen. And then I will tell you that I want to be a professional athlete. That was the other thing. But I think again, that's what every kid that I grew up with wanted to be a professional athlete. Like that was just in our nature because we all played sports, and I wanted to be in the NBA.
That's
And it
so
happened.
funny
Yeah.
because I was always a larger, taller kid, right? Everybody's like, you should join our football team, our basketball team, whatever. And I had until I was about 20, I had zero interest in sports. Didn't watch soccer, football, baseball, hockey, nothing. I watched nothing. And then I started officiating.
Yeah.
And that's what actually got me
Oh
interested in
wow.
sports. Yeah. So like I would go to Super Bowl parties, but I wouldn't know what the hell was going. I don't know what a first down is. I didn't know what a touchdown meant or versus a home run or a 3 point. Like I didn't know any of that. But
Right.
once I started officiating, I was like, oh, okay, this is actually kind of cool. And that's what got me into sports. And now I'm a big sports guy. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. See, I was always into sports. Always. I mean, not soccer because soccer we didn't have, right?
Yeah.
So it was
Right.
always the classic sports, baseball, football, and then play football. But baseball I always loved.
Hmm.
Basketball I always loved. Played basketball, and then ran right cross country track.
Hmm.
Wrestling was really huge where I grew up in Iowa. Wrestling's a big deal.
Okay.
Uh, the University of Iowa is a huge wrestling program. I don't remember how many. I think they won like 10 national titles in a row. Something's just
Oh
crazy.
God. All right.
Like they're a factory for wrestling.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I remember wrestling was big in my hometown even, right? But it wasn't until I was older and had moved to other areas of the country that soccer really started to come in. Soccer started in college. There was a kid who was into soccer when I was in college, like Liverpool. That's when I
Hmm.
started following Liverpool, and then like went to California, and
Hmm.
suddenly it was Latin American soccer
Hmm.
because the Hispanic community would play soccer on weekends, right? And that's when I started playing soccer, and that's when I got into it. But yeah, literally, I was always into sports. Sports were always a big deal
Hmm.
for me. So
Hmm.
I thought I could tie sports and my radio career together and become like the play-by-play announcer for the Kansas City Royals,
Okay.
uh, but that never happened.
Well,
Yeah, they had some like Hall of Fame broadcaster that is still there today that had been there for like he's like 45 years he's been there, so it's like
it's never
that's never
too
gonna happen.
late.
Never.
It's
No, maybe
never
one
too
day.
late.
Maybe one day they'll
One
come and
day.
be like, hey, why don't you come like
It's true.
you know you can idolize George Brett from near instead of afar. It's the Dino and Joe Show.